Okay, so right now we're going to be taking a look at the blinding lights, the synth part. I'm going to take a look at the verse and pre-chorus. Okay, so again, you're doing this kind of sequency. I call it sequency because typically this is done by a synthesizer, and basically the way this works is you hit one button on the synthesizer, or rather you hit one key, and then it just kind of plays this pattern for you starting on whatever the note of that key is. So in this case you would hit, say, an A, and it would do all the rest for you. So it's almost like this part's being played by a machine, by a computer, so it needs to be very precise and tight rhythmically. Okay, now the way we're getting there, let's talk about the notes first. So it's basically two sets of two notes. You have A and C, and then D and E. A and C, D and E, all in the key of C. Excuse me. And then, but that's the easy part. The part where we really need to focus on to make sure we get that sound we're going for, that very tight rhythmic sound, is the right hand. Your pick's got to be moving correctly, and we need a good mute on there. So you're going to take the flesh of your hand. If this is your bridge, there's your white line. You need to kind of creep over that onto the string a little bit, so we still hear the notes. We still hear the notes, but they're very short, very staccato, and really thumpy, rhythmic sounding. Now, guys, the picking's simple here, but to get it consistent and up to speed is going to take a lot of practice. You got to gain muscle memory on it. So again, it's simple. It's just down, up, down, up. It's your hands a metronome the whole time. Bop, 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 bop. Nothing ever stops. But it's more important here than ever because you are changing a string every time. The transition to the bottom notes is the only time. That's the only time you don't skip a string. You're not going from one string to the next string to the one to the next. You do that the whole time. So you gotta have outside picking. Remember, your pick's gotta go down on this string and up on this one so that it's not having to do awkward things to cross over the strings. It should just be one motion, then the other, okay? And again, it's simple to get that with this line, but you gotta start it out right, and you gotta be cognizant of it. It's just down, up the whole time, okay? So let me do it a little bit fast to give you something to play along to. Here goes. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so just kind of rewind that, play along to it a little bit, start speeding it up, get real comfortable. Now let's talk about the pre-chorus. So you guys have these little, you guys are doing the oohs to the vocal part. So the pre-chorus, the lyric is Sin City's cold and empty, and then there's that little ooh, no one around to judge me, ooh. You guys are doing those oohs. You're doing them on octaves just to give us something kind of interesting to listen to, since we don't have all the effects on our guitars like they have on the vocals. So it's basically an octave A and then an octave G. And what this looks like, so I'm on, if you want to write these frets in, that's probably a good idea. I'm on D7 and B10. And again, that's just an A note, and that is also an A note. So it's two A notes together. D7, B10. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna do your best to mute everything around it. So this one finger is muting that D string, or sorry, yes, that G string. This finger is kind of touching that E string to mute it. So that way I can just hit them both, hit everything with my pick, but only hear those two notes. Now hear that? All I'm doing is this. But now I can attack it aggressively with my pick because I'm muting. I'm muting all the strings that with the notes I don't want. With this hand. So da 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 da. So it's just A, and then I move that whole thing down 2 frets for the G, right? Because the G is just a whole step below A. So same shape, it ends up on D5 and B8, D7, B10, D5, B8. Da 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 da. Or no, I did that wrong. So he sings the lyrics, "In cities cold and empty, bah, no one around to judge me, bah." Okay? So get that verse, get that pre-chorus down, and you are good to go. Enjoy your spring break.